Are you?
Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. I'd like to call this meeting to order, and can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before I turn the meeting over to you, Dr. Seinfeld, we just want to, this is your last Board of Education meeting, and we just want to thank you so much for your hard work and your dedication to our school district, and your 7.5 years that you spent here, and all the changes you've made and implemented. And we're going to miss you, and as a token of our appreciation, we got you some flowers. We wish you much luck in your new position.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kowalski. I so appreciate it. And I do have a few comments to make at the end of my report. And I thank you so much for the recognition and for the beautiful flowers. So thank you.
Okay, now I can turn the meeting over to you for comments and reports from the Board of Education correspondence.
Ms. Santos has the communication. It was emailed to you from Ms. Dolan. Would you like me to? You got it? Okay.
Okay. We have 3 email communications, one on 11/20/20 from Claudia Taglish regarding ideas to integrate Oben public schools. We have one from Gina Chinese from, it's a FOIL request from 12/11/20. On 12/14/20, we have a email from Andrew Treble regarding COVID protocols in the school.
Okay, so I am now going to give my report. Most importantly, under my report is our student recognition. So first, I'm going to turn the floor over to Dr. Mulhall to introduce a special treat for us from our chamber singers.
Thank you. So as you know, one of the traditions that we have is usually at this meeting, the chamber singers come and perform. So tonight, in lieu of that in-person performance, they've created this for you.
Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Seinfeld, Dr. Mulhall, Ms. Friedman, and the community watching from home. Although 2020 has presented many challenges, in the Fine and Performing Arts Department here at Oyster Bay, we've been able to continue a rigorous education in the arts. I'm excited to present tonight a performance with the Chamber Singers under the direction of Dr. Megan Gissinger, featuring the junior and senior ACE classes singing O Come All Ye Faithful. Happy holidays, good night, and enjoy.
Born of King of
Wow. So good.
Wow, Mr. Femino, Dr. Dissinger, and all of our amazing students and families watching, that is, I think, just what we needed at this time of year, especially in 2020. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for that holiday cheer. We need that. Next, we have set a goal over the past several years to increase opportunities for students in competitions, and I now turn the microphone over to Ms. Lasher for some of our student accolades.
Good evening. Thank you to the Board of Education, as well as Dr. Seinfeld, Dr. Mulhall, and Ms. Freeman for giving me this opportunity to talk about the accomplishments of our business department. As you may know, Dr. Pescara had a baby a few days ago, and I am happily filling in for him this evening. I spent many years as a business teacher and many years before that in the corporate world. I have seen firsthand how business courses can shape and mold students to think critically on their feet, develop an invaluable business acumen, gain a broader understanding of the corporate world, and become financially literate. Virtual Enterprise is a student-directed course that develops all of those important lifelong skills. It places individuals as employees in a virtual firm. Firms are broken down into departments, including administration, design, IT, marketing and sales, human resources, accounting, finance, legal, risk, and operations. Students work closely, figuratively, not literally, as they are at least 6 feet apart, to successfully run their company. Protect, a third-year firm, sells a variety of technologically based devices that incorporate an EMF shielding fabric to prevent 99% of potentially harmful cancer-causing rays from entering the body. Their current product line includes cases for cell phones, tablets, and smartwatches. After personally reading their business plan last year, it's hard to believe it's not a real company. Please take a moment to view their elevator pitch.
That's how much screen time has increased since the start of the global pandemic. Now I know what you may be thinking. What will happen to my health? Here at Protect, we have you covered. We incorporate electromagnetic shielding fabric capable of protecting the user from 99% of radio frequency emitted. We have developed an exclusive line of protective cases for smartphones and other devices. In years to come, evidence will prove the hazardous correlation between technology and cancer-causing devices. Partnered with the AMA, we continue to conduct research and develop high-quality products. Our cases are priced competitively between $65 and $95, targeting our product towards Gen X. Here at Protect, we care about the health of the greater community, as seen through our Give Back program. We're offering a 15% stake for $400,000 to expand our product line. Get ready to protect yourself.
If that was an initial public offering, I would invest. On Friday, November 20th, members of the Protect firm participated in their first virtual trade fair for the 2021 fiscal year. In preparation for this event, departments worked diligently to create a variety of visual representations to use during their sales pitch. A digital product brochure was created and placed on the virtual trade floor, along with a link to our Zoom Meet and website address. The Sales and Marketing Department, under the guidance of the Administrative Department, helped prepare all members for the event. Our trading floor opened at 10 a.m., and we were immediately bombarded with customers. The students quickly figured out a system that worked best for getting customers as quickly as possible. Broken down into 2 sessions, the first group, made up of our domestic division members, created breakout rooms to place a ProTech salesperson with a potential customer. Faith Camerata, the domestic CEO of our company who was here this evening, monitored customers entering the room and quickly matched them with a rep to close the deal. There was a lot of learning on the go as other firm members who were not pitching to customers were visiting rooms of other Long Island firms and making deals to purchase from each other. As the second wave of team members came in, the process began all over again. Jillian Vicari, the CEO of the International Division, who had experience from participating in a virtual trade fair last spring, was able to quickly figure things out and delegate tasks. All in all, we had 105 teachers, students, and VE judges enter our room and purchase our product. One-day sales topped out around $81,000. This event was a huge success for the firm, as well as the students who participated. While I was not at their trade fair this year, I have spent time in their classes over the last few years. I observed a great deal of professionalism, as well as seeing students step out of their comfort zones. The feedback from the experience was that the students were very proud of themselves. They really enjoyed participating in this and look forward to the one in January. They shared that it felt real and that quickly created a list of ideas on how to improve for the next one by constructively criticizing what they liked and disliked about other firms' techniques and publications. This 25-member firm has come together and are working extremely hard and diligently to make this year successful. Starting as a non-traditional classroom and then throwing in some non-traditional ways of learning, the students have truly taken ownership of this company. Recently, we received the results of the first online competition that we participated in, and we were elated to find out that we placed in the top 10% in the world. In addition, we received one of the highest scores of all top 10% firms. Please join me in congratulating our virtual enterprise team, ProTech, on an excellent start to the school year. Members of the virtual enterprise team who we are recognizing tonight and are joining us virtually are Vincent Ornados, Carlos Bonilla, Faith Camerata, who is here, David Cohen, Sammy Cohn, Jonathan Cox, Emily Curry, Chris Doras, Emily Egan, Josh Gomez, Alexa Grassi, Patrick Ingebrigtsen, Peter Kaufman, Rebecca Keller, who you saw in the video, Alina Kelly, Andrea Myers, Grady Nessis, Manolo Panariello, Aiden Russo, Olivia Schall, Olivia Silver, Thomas Surrett, Jillian Vicari, and Matthew Yerkes. This is really exciting, and we can't wait to see what the rest of this year brings. Congratulations. And, thank you, if there's more. On December 2nd, 2020, members of our business program competed in the Huntington Chamber of Commerce 18th Annual Emerging Business Leaders Competition, which was held virtually this year. The competition, traditionally held at St. Joseph's College, challenges high school students to think beyond the scope of the classroom and demonstrate their knowledge and capabilities in a business environment. Students use their understanding of business to address given tasks and current issues in their category of choice and can participate as a team of 2 or individually in the competition. Categories include, but are not limited to, entertainment marketing, entrepreneurship, graphic design, hospitality services, human resources, not-for-profit fundraising, public relations, retail marketing, sports marketing, travel and tourism, and interviewing. We would like to congratulate all those who participate and recognize those who placed in the competition and are with us tonight. Seniors Faith Camerata and Michael Masnio won second place in the retail marketing category, and juniors Rachel Singer and Patrick Walsh took third place in the public relations category. Congratulations, Faith, Michael, Rachel, and Patrick. A special thank you to Ms. Tara Beal, who has been working with our business students since September to prepare for these competitions. In our 4th year of virtual enterprise, it is evident that the commitment of the students and Ms. Beal, along with the support of the community, including our Board of Education, is yielding such positive results. I am here tonight as a result of the hard work of our students and their dedication to their business courses. Thank you and congratulations to all.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lasher. We're so proud of your students. Thank you, Ms. Field. Thank you, Mr. Pescara. And we do have certificates for you. And for those in the other students in your class, we will be sure to get them to those who could not be here this evening. So congratulations. Congratulations.
And Faith, you have another?
Yes.
Michael, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Rachel
couldn't come, I think, last minute.
Patrick,
What did he say? It was 10% for
Great job, guys. We're so
400,000?
proud of you. Thank
So they're
you.
evaluating this as a $4 million company? This-
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes.
guys.
Be safe.
Thank you, guys.
Next under my report is the District Academic Committee report. We did meet again recently, and I don't know if Ms. Kowalski, you'd like to provide an overview. I'll start it off by just sharing that we did talk about the possibility and moving toward a beds codes change. We talked about expectations for upcoming Board of Education meetings. We discussed standardized student achievement test data analysis, and we also revisited the importance of test participation, all with the goal of improving student achievement as well as district and school rankings. Ms. Kowalski, I don't know if anybody else from the committee wanted to add any commentary.
Yes, I mean, the beds code is important because we see that we are getting penalized for having combined middle school children with the high school children in a lot of these ratings because it looks at the percentage of students taking AP courses, and typically 7th and 8th graders don't take AP courses. So it's affecting a lot of our ratings. So we're looking at redefining some of the beds codes so that the 7th and 8th graders can be declared basically in a separate school. So that's something I think is really important for us because if you look at great schools and things like that, it's really having an impact on us. As far as, I mean, the other thing that I really want to talk about is the state test participation. We really are trying to get our participation rates up because that's also affecting whether we can even become a blue ribbon school. We need to have a 95% participation rate, and it's becoming very important for lots of reasons. It's also, the ratings like Great Schools also looks at that. So that's something we're working on to try to get the message out to parents that these tests are not high-stakes exams. They're just regular tests. Students take tests all the time, and it really gives us some benchmark of where the students are at, and we really want to encourage all parents to have their children take the exams. And I think that was about it.
Okay.
So can I have a question on the beds code? So do we think we're going to get that done by March?
Yes, Dr. Mulhall is equipped to answer that question.
So the State Education Department is changing the process by which we can do that, and it's basically just an online submission. It's not ready yet, but as soon as it's ready, they should respond to my email, let us know that we can complete that process, and then we just need to have a board resolution at an upcoming meeting. So once those two steps are done, we can submit it, and then they will review it at their March meeting and let us know.
So, Mary Ann, do we need to wait until we get more guidance to do the resolution, or can we put the resolution on for the next business meeting?
They won't accept your request until we have to submit the request with the board resolution.
Right, no, that's what I'm asking.
Right,
Yeah.
so
Should we do the resolution at the next business
I
meeting?
would think so, if Dr. Mulhall, I mean, you have to time it properly.
Yeah, so maybe we could put that on the agenda for the next time you're with us, Mary Ann.
And they did provide us with, the contact from the State Education Department did provide us with sample resolutions. So maybe we'll ask you, Ms. Sadowski, to just take a look at that before the board acts on that, if that's okay.
Not a problem.
Thank you. Okay, next under the agenda, and I thank Dr. Yanni because we worked on these calendars together since he will obviously be in this seat for the 21-22 school year, which I'm thrilled for our community. So there are two versions of the 2021-22 calendar. As a reminder, we start our calendar with 185 days. That builds in 2 days for inclement weather. Our goal is always to get to 183 days, which typically includes 181 student days and 2 professional learning days for our staff. It is a bit of a tight calendar, you'll see, because of when Labor Day falls. And also, you may have seen the legal memo that we received that we are required to have a day off on Juneteenth, which falls on June 20th. So as such, the other interesting piece for this year is that the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah falls the day after, or the 2 days right after Labor Day. So if you're wondering what those 3 days are on the both draft calendars, that's Labor Day and Rosh Hashanah. So having said that, there are 2 options that we are proposing to you. The only difference between them is the start day for both staff and students, and the possibility of being off on December 23rd as we are, schools are closed here this year. So calendar A has the 23rd open, but has staff returning on August 31st and students first day of school September 1st. Option B pushes that back 1 day. Staff returns on Monday, August 30th. Students begin on the 31st, and then you have the extra day before the Christmas break. So we're open to your feedback on either option. Ms. Kowalski?
Yeah, I'm just looking at it.
Oh.
Hi, this is Darren Gerbosi. I would vote for draft. Let me just make sure I have the right one here. I would vote for draft A, where the students return on September 1. I think I would like mentally having not returning to school in the month of August, especially I'm hoping, or not praying, that the month of August is some semblance of normalcy for the kids.
Thank you for that input.
I vote for A too.
Yeah, I'm an A too.
A is fine, yes.
Is Mr. McAvoy on?
Mr. McAvoy was joining the Google Meet, but he was joining a different one, so I don't think he's currently on. But we do have a quorum of the board with voting for A, or selecting A, so we will put that on the next agenda for a formal resolution. So last but not least, thank you, Ms. Kowalski, for the beautiful flowers on behalf of the Board of Education. I want to just make very short comments to share with you how much I have truly loved, and it has been a true honor, and I have loved working with all of you and with our larger community. You have the best administrative staff and teaching staff anywhere. They can do anything, and they have done so much for us and for our students, especially over the last 9 months. To our families, your support, the notes, the emails, the gifts, the flowers, but most importantly, the collaboration, the partnership, the support is so greatly appreciated. Our support staff, second to none. Our custodians, our clerical, everybody making this place work. Thank you so much. And most importantly, I love the students of Oyster Bay East Norwich. I will miss them so much, and I thank them for allowing me to lead. Thank you all, and I only wish you the best. To all of you, Dr. Yanni, and everyone here, and everyone listening. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve.
Thank you, Dr. Seinfeld. As you know, we'll miss you greatly when you leave, and hopefully we'll still hear from you.
I will be in touch.
Okay, now down to the approval of minutes. The approval of the workshop meeting, November 3rd, 2020, and the business meeting, November 17th, 2020. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now we have the business facilities report. Ms. Freeman?
PowerPoint outlining the budget process and timeline, and it's also in your packet.
Thank you, Dr. Seinfeld. Thank you. Okay, so we start the budget process this year. This meeting will contain the budget fundamentals and the timeline. The Board of Education has identified the following goals for the 21-22 school year: to provide excellence in every classroom, resulting in increased student achievement, and to continue to review, refine, and enhance opportunities and services to students and families. The budget timeline begins, there we go. Okay, this is our budget timeline. It begins on December 15th, which is today, and then we have a number of meetings, budget meetings, that will be held in the next few months, and that will culminate in the budget adoption on April 6th. The budget hearing is May 4th, and then the budget vote this year is May 18th. So the budget development begins with giving about 4 years of budget history and expenditure history to each of the administrators. They then create their budget and submit it. It should be submitted this week. We review the budget trends, analyze all the data that's available to us. We obtain projected data like CPI, that's the Consumer Price Index, health insurance, teacher retirement system, employee retirement system, and contracts. Our administrators meet with central office, and we review each of their budgets and any cost-saving initiatives they may have. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. All right, so what do we know so far? Our teacher retirement system, we've got notification that it will be between 9.5% and 10% next year.
Wait, can you go back one slide? Am I wrong? There you go.
Okay, thank you. So the current rate, TRS rate, is a 9.53. Consumer Price Index that just came out, as of November, it's a 1.2. I'm hoping that it will at least stay about that. Last year at the end of the last year, it was a 1.8. So that could be a significant difference, and that's a big part of the tax calculation. State aid, this is very dependent on what happens, whether the federal government comes out with a stimulus to help us recover from COVID-19. And health insurance for the 2021 year is actually pretty low. For individuals, it's a 4.2%, and for family, it's 2.7%. Our goal this year, of course, as in any year, is to stay within the tax levy limit. This is some data for the district. Our enrollment is 1,501 this year. That's in comparison to last year, so it's dropped 57 students in that time. There are some students who have moved out of the district. They might be in a different location if their families have a second home, and so they are not included in that enrollment data. The combined wealth ratio is a 4.337, and the state average is a 1. BOCES ratio, aid ratio is a 38.5. Building aid ratio is 10%, free and reduced 19.6, and our special ed classification ratio is 11.2. Limited English proficiency this year is at a 151, excuse me. Last year it was 158. In prior years it was lower, so it's going up. All right, so the spending plan that we have, which will be voted on in May, of course, is made up of your budget. And the budget is then funded by the resources we have: state aid, our local revenues, which are interest, we have tuition from other districts, the use of fund balance, we use ERS and TRS, and then the remainder is made up of property tax. So, of course, revenue will then equal our expense. Our historical budget vote results. For the past 5 or 6 years, our budget vote results are in the 70s. So it goes 72, 76, 78. Last year, for the 2021 budget, we had a mail-in ballot, if you recall, and it was done in June. It was much later than prior years, and there were many more votes counted. So that came in at 63%, about 10% lower than in prior years. So the district is in very good financial condition. We have a healthy fund balance and reserves. We have sound financial condition, commitment to funding reserves. Our Moody's rating is an AA1, which is excellent. And this year we received a positive audit report, as is the case in most years, all years, I will say. Does anyone have any questions?
Do we know what the impact of the reduced CPI will be on our levy?
I'm sorry, do we know what?
The reduced CPI, right? Because it's going to be the lower of CPI or 2%, right? Do we know like what the impact will be on?
It's a 1.2% right now in November, and I anticipate that's what it will be for the end of the year. Last
Right.
year it was 1.8. I believe that will have an impact, could be about 300,000 less for
Yeah,
the tax levy.
that's
Yeah.
about right, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Kate, what happens if those 51 students who maybe they left the district because of COVID and they, went to Florida or whatever, and they decide to come back?
That's some of them, some in private school, parochial schools.
So if we make a budget that gets passed and we assume that they're not in our school and then they come back, is that going to be a problem for us at all?
No, I believe that the budget was based on that, the higher amount of students.
it will be?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it seems like it's the typical, I just pulled up the enrollment, the typical 8th grade is really what dropped off from like 118 to 105 in the 9th grade. So that seems like the largest drop off. And then probably the 6th grade is also. It's a little bit, not too much, maybe 5th.
Thank you, Ms. Freeman. Thank you.
Sure.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, personnel actions. Goes from page 1 to middle of page 4. Do I have a motion? Did I mess it up? Oh, I did mess it up. Hold on. Personal action resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the following professional personnel and civil service personnel resolutions as listed. And that goes to the middle of page 4. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I had just one comment. I would like to point out that you're about to act on the tenure recommendation for Daniel Gatto. He is an amazing special educator with a specialty in behavior management. He has done an amazing job, and I was thrilled to share at our tenure meeting when I reviewed his extensive portfolio that he was my last tenure report recommendation, which of course we take as a very, very important decision, and it is very well deserved. So congratulations to Dan, and as I said at the last meeting, he understands that hopefully there will be an in-person tenure celebration in the spring. Thank you, Ms. Kowalski.
Okay, thank you. Do I have any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Business actions resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the following business resolutions as listed. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? I just want to make sure I didn't have anything on this one. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Special services, resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the following special services resolutions as listed. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. New business. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the following new business resolutions as listed. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Dr. Seinfeld, could you explain a little about the ATC testing and screening service?
Yes, thank you for asking. I was just about to say, so we have done our research, and in the event that the district is designated to be in the yellow zone and require random testing of 20% of students and staff who are in person, we are proactively asking you to agree to approve this so that we'll have the testing ready to go. Under the current guidelines, there's a 2-week window to get that 20% tested. So we didn't want to have to wait to possibly call a board meeting to have you approve this. We wanted to be ready to go. But right now, we are not in the yellow, orange, or red zone.
Dr. Seinfeld, can you explain to the community how that will work?
Yeah, so there's a lot of information out there, but the bottom line is if we had to enter the yellow zone, we would have 2 weeks with which to do the random testing of students and staff. It's by building. The designation are microclusters, so they're even more finite than zip codes. It might just be a few blocks. It might be a particular area. We would, of course, ask for permission from families before students are tested.
And is there any cost to the families?
There would be no cost to the families. The testing would go through their health insurance, and if anybody didn't have health insurance, then the company would bill it through the CARES funding.
So will you be sending out these forms? Do you send them out now, just precautionary, so everyone signs it, or is it only when we go into the yellow zone, then you'll send out the form?
I believe in the latter at this point, especially I've been watching our numbers closely in terms of it doesn't just include the tests, it's also the hospitalization rates, and so right now we have not been designated, so I thought that it would be more prudent to wait and hope that we don't have to be in the yellow zone, and also the metrics do change frequently. So for example, just a month ago, if you had to go in the orange or red zone, which is a higher infection rate, you would have to test 100% of students or staff before returning to school, and that changed to the 20%. So I think it would be prudent to follow the guidelines if we get to that point, and hopefully we won't, and hopefully everyone will continue to be safe and make safe decisions, especially outside of the school setting.
And they would come to the school to test?
Yes, they would be on site.
And it would be a random selection?
Yes, and we've been working, Ms. Freeman and Mr. Trentowski and I have been working about the technology that we would use to implement this, similar to other technologies we use in the athletic office. So we thought that that would make sense. But yes, it would be random testing. And, you know, one of the options is for families to have their children and staff to get tested at their own medical facility or at a walk-in, but we wanted to be sure to make it as convenient as possible if we have to do that for our community and for our staff.
Now, are these rapid tests or the PCR tests?
They are the rapid tests, but they are supposedly the better. There's 2 different types of rapid tests, and supposedly they have very good, reliable results.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All
Aye.
opposed? Motion carries. Friday packet. Anybody have anything on the Friday packet they'd like to discuss?
I'm sorry if the communication went out and I didn't see it, but have the parents been made aware of the way that the winter sports is going to be rolled out currently?
Not yet. We wanted to wait. Mr. Trentowski is all set to go, but wanted to wait until the board approves the coaches, which you just did, and so he is all set and ready to go.
Okay, great.
And we're hoping that we're able to have these sports run just after the new year. As I think the board is aware, I'm sure the community may be as well, that these are only the low-risk sports. These are the only sports that were on the agenda are those that were deemed or approved by the state association. The higher-risk sports have not yet been approved.
However, the plan is, under the Section 8 schedule, to run those sports later in the season, right?
I'm talking about the higher-risk winter sports.
Oh, okay. But the higher-risk fall sports, I guess, the plan is to run them later in the season, such as football.
Depending on if they are approved. The higher-risk sports, such as football, are not currently approved.
Right.
But
Okay.
I'm sure that as the numbers are reviewed and hopefully the infection rate decreases, that will be looked at the state level.
Dr. Seinfeld, we saw that Syosset has a mobile testing center that comes to its school, and it's there for students and community members only, which I think would be very convenient considering the lines that are at all the current testing facilities. Is there any possibility of Oyster Bay getting such a testing site at our schools?
Yes, so in the Friday packet, you may have seen that I put in a flyer, and that I have been in contact with Dr. Frankel from Advanced Cardiovascular Diagnostics, and if the board is interested in us looking at this, it would be a periodic, it wouldn't be every day. We could certainly plan, move forward with that. So if the whole board would like us to explore that, we certainly will.
What's everyone's thoughts on that?
I don't know if you had a chance to see the flyer that I included in the packet.
So how does it work? It's for the community, right? And it's at the school district, and it's through this partnership. But if you come for the testing, it goes through your personal insurance, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
It's basically
A site that's
It's
offered to
basically-
the community.
It's like, the way he described it to me is, it's like the St. Francis van comes and gives flu shots. It's a mobile unit that would come, they would just ask for a part of our property, we would get the information out about when it's available, and you would go and use your, your insurance, or, as I mentioned before, there would not be a cost to the district.
I guess my only concern would be that those maybe coming for the testing would be inclined to maybe believe that they could be COVID positive, and how do we keep them socially distanced from the rest of the population of the school? That would be my only concern.
Well,
So if it was run after school or in an isolated location, I think that would be
I
great.
think they set up a van in the parking lot
Yeah.
so the community members can come there and get
Yeah.
tested.
I
That
was
would be
picturing
great.
it in the parking lot here at the high school, like where the van was when we were doing the music wing, when we had the, not the van, the trailer where we had all of our meetings. So I thought that would make sense. So if the board would like, I could move forward with getting more information about that.
I mean, I would, just because I've been hearing these lines at like Huntington Hospital are 2.5 hours long, and City MD, they're very long lines, that I think it would be beneficial to our community. It doesn't cost us anything to do it, and it might be something that, I think the community would benefit from. And also it keeps even our students who may think they're sick, who don't want to go stand in a line, they know that this is available.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
Okay, I'll follow up. Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay, now we have to adjourn to exec. Do I have a motion to adjourn to exec?
So moved.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Be safe. Happy New Year.